Hey friends, this is Goalie TV. Glad to have you aboard here this afternoon live from the Ball Diamonds in Crossfield. Yeah, she's started 3 straight nights playing ball. And the Oilers, well, again, you know what? Another week where we got the news we were waiting for, that being on the coaching staff yesterday. Now we get back to the old goaltending trading rumors and all that. And basically the Connor McDavid contract, the talk of the day on 880 chat over on Oilers Now with Brendan Griffiths today. And for the Oilers, that's really all there is to really check off the whole pipeline today or for the rest of the offseason, right? I think you understand from an Oilers perspective right now, the goaltending, you've got a new goalie coach, so if you stand pat, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but there are some options out there, and as it appears, options will continue to become available as the off season and into training camp develops. So friends, if you are new to the channel right now and watching on the replay, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. Of course, as well, if you haven't checked out the Oilers Fanatic and Gillis TV, both back today with additions before I got up. So definitely make sure to do that as well if you could. And if you're going to enjoy today's topic, or you just enjoy the fact that the Oilers might get a new goalie, hit that like button on the video as well. Forget to do that always on the live videos, so definitely do that, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, on to goaltending. What do we know about goaltending? Yeah, it's Goalie TV live from the Ball Diamonds. That's something I identified on the phone call last night with one of my good buddies there, Dustin up in Cold Lake there. I identified that, hey, I got to do some more live videos this summer, especially when I'm at the Diamonds 3 nights a week. So there you go. Goaltending options. Let's get to that. Sorry, Patrick distracted me. What do we know about goaltending options? We know the fact that Tristan Jarry is the pivot point for the Oilers fans now, who are frustrated with, of course, Pickard and Skinner just not being good enough. Why do I mean pivot point? Because simply, I don't know if you go still keep hoping on Shelovs. I doubt it. I think Pittsburgh's pretty set with having him in net there for them, so that's pretty understandable. Obviously, the Oilers, we'll talk a little bit more on that at the end of the video, maybe missed out on that deal with Vancouver, but for the Oilers, Tristan Jarry, I don't think this is the first time he's come up. I believe kind of after we pivoted away from Jeremy Swayman at the beginning of the season, Tristan Jarry was mentioned a couple of times for the Penguins and Oilers to trade, so that's neither here nor there, but it's kind of interesting to see another guy kind of in a battle, a three-way battle across the goaltending crease at the NHL level become available. We know today as well, it's kind of been mentioned, I think Patrick had it over there on Michael DiPietro. I believe he's in Boston, same with Jonas Korpisalo. Those would round out the top 3 guys that I think the Oilers might or really have at the top of the target list right now. I think just to calm down for a quick second on all that, I think it's one thing that we're forgetting to mention is, had Dallas decided to keep Pete DeBoer, we might have been in the sweepstakes for Jake Ottinger, so there is that as well. The Oilers have already seen this goaltending market change multiple times over the course of the summer. Obviously as well, watching what Jake Allen signed for in New Jersey, that's kind of one of those deals there as well, that New Jersey kind of swept up the market themselves just simply by signing the top available goaltender on July 1st. So that's where we sit, right? The options, not maybe aplenty now. We've heard lots of talk from Bob Stauffer and the Oilers insiders across the NHL really saying trade or waiver pickup come training camp. That's really the Oilers' likely best target. That's the Oilers' best time. That's when the Oilers should be looking to do their work. Simply, that's maybe when things are going to be the most available, because again, you kind of got three-way battles, maybe in Boston, maybe in Pittsburgh, some other places around the NHL that the Oilers haven't necessarily been linked to yet, I'm sure. And obviously, all in this, and what I really want to focus home in on this video is the way that it's been mentioned here in the NHL circles, whether it be on YouTube or whatever. Nico Dawes mentioned as well, Patrick's saying there. Again, I haven't had a full time to catch up today, so I'm grateful Patrick's caught me as always. Normally I'd be calling him on the way home, but here I'm at the Diamonds instead. So, no, really what it comes down to for the Edmonton Oilers is you're looking at a situation where, what are you trying to upgrade on? Are you trying to upgrade on Stuart Skinner? That upgrade's not available, right? A young guy with sky-high potential, which, whether you believe in Skinner or not, that is truly what Stuart Skinner still is. He is very much so of the archetype where if you trade him, and a good goalie coach gets a hold of him and fixes those things wrong with him, he'll be another Devin Dubnyk. And I mean, you can look back at Doobie's stats back across the NHL after he left the Oilers. There were some really good years for Devin Dubnyk in the NHL post Edmonton Oilers playing days. So keep that in mind there too. Again, not saying that ever Stuart Skinner is going to be a Sergei Bobrovsky or a top flight goaltender that alone will win you games. But again, that's why you got Connor McDavid. That's why you got Evan Bouchard, Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, the whole sort. It takes a team, not just one goalie. So that's where I'd say to that. And of course, Calvin Pickard, like the guy's an absolute soldier for us. He's been unreal in his time in the crease in Edmonton. He's absolutely dummied every assignment we've given him. I mean, would you love the stats to be better? Sure, but you're playing in front of the Edmonton Oilers or behind the Edmonton Oilers after all, and we know they're not easy to play behind no matter who the goalie is. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is just be honest with yourself. Is even if you are trying to upgrade either goalie, really you're just changing based on what's out there in the market. You're just changing the dynamic. That's kind of what you got to be honest about. I know I've not really made that clear, but again, it's simple, right? Is if there was a clear-cut number one available, like Jake Ottinger might have been, sure, you 100% can have that conversation about upgrading on both goalies. But really, if you're talking about upgrading on Pickard and you think he's better than Skinner, then really you're not doing anything, because you're just flip-flopping the order of who you're upgrading on and keeping. So that's kind of the battle there. As Epiphany joins the chat, friends. It's one of those situations for the Edmonton Oilers and the rest of the NHL, is until better options become available, really we're not going to be talking about great things, because Tristan Jarry here, I mean, it's not a name that gets Oilers fans jumping up and down. It's a name that gets guys like me, Patrick, Brandon over at Gillies TV, and all the other Oilers media guys maybe talking about things. Sure, is that at all getting everything going, or is that going to solve any problems, us talking about it? No, it's not. And really, again, higher salary caps when you're talking about $3.6 million in goaltending committed to next year, and the results that you're going to get, and what will be likely, if the Oilers take the first 25 games seriously for the first time in 3 years, a 55-win team. No, it doesn't matter the goaltending. There'll be 55 wins just because you've got 82 games, and you can easily do that with Connor and Leon fully healthy and the rest of the team hopefully healthy and doing the regular old stuff. So that's just kind of the whole conversation you have to have and understand. Is it's just a battle up and down and all around. Plus Campbell money. I'm trying to conveniently forget about that, Patrick. I don't remember about Jack Campbell. That's bad times. Again, that's also kind of maybe when you talk about it, maybe a little bit of a reminder for the Oilers to not think they have an upgrade simply because there is a flashy name out there. Again, Jack Campbell shouldn't have been as flashy as he was, but that was the goaltending market once things started rolling that summer. So for the Oilers, I would say right now, maybe the biggest missed opportunity of the summer will be Archer Shilovs, who, ends up going to Pittsburgh for a 4th-round pick and a prospect who's 22 years old. So, yeah, that's fair to say that's going to probably be the biggest Oilers miss of the offseason, and that's really all you can really do on it, because, again, would the Oilers have had necessarily a package better or bigger than that to give to the Vancouver Canucks? Sorry, buddy's just driving by here, just watching him wave to me. But yeah, no, it's just one of those situations where if you're looking at it, the Canucks probably, and this is why it says failed trade in the title. I've heard some discourse on this here today, is looking like the Canucks might have had an offer on the table, or might have gotten an offer, or might have thought there was something coming from the Oilers. But the Canucks just weren't going to entertain that, and the Canucks just weren't going to give that time of day. So that's kind of how it breaks down there for the Edmonton Oilers. It just wasn't going to happen. So you can say that it's a miss, but it is what it is. And for the Oilers, it really comes down to, at the end of the day, what else are you going to do? And as Ed's mentioning there's some other names. I can tell you for 100% certainty the Oilers are not going after Carter Hart. That was made known over the weekend, I want to say, or coming out of the weekend. So the Oilers have no interest in Carter Hart. Again, Buffalo, what they're doing, sure, and Boston and Pittsburgh, there's plenty of options. But the thing is, you're looking at, as the Edmonton Oilers, the maximum you can spend on goaltending this season. This is the other side too that we haven't talked about. I talked about the $3.6 million cap hit for the Oilers here as it currently stands, but what I haven't talked about is how much you can spend maximum on goaltending is about $4.4 to $4.6 million. So if you're looking at that realistically, you have to trade one of your goalies and you have to fit in that extra 800K. So you're looking for a goalie who at most costs $3.4 million, or if you're upgrading on Calvin Pickard, you're looking at a total of 1.8. So you start pricing me goalies in that range that aren't going to need an extension next year like Stu or next year like Picks, and we start talking about numbers from there. But for right now, friends, there's lots to consider here from an Oilers standpoint, and I understand that's probably why things haven't shook out for the Oilers, is there's not that by far and above clear-cut number one goalie that the Oilers might want in this offseason. Of course, like I'm saying, that might tie back to the Dallas Stars' choice to cut Pete DeBoer rather than go down the slippery path of trade with Jake Ottinger. Fair enough, that guy's a great goaltender. It's just the Oilers, really good team in the playoffs, specifically the third round against the Dallas Stars back-to-back years. So it is what it is. But of course, if you haven't had a chance to hit that like button yet, friends, definitely consider doing that. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you could as well. We just crossed 18,000 2 days back, and we're well on our way to hopefully the next 1,000 here. So thanks for being aboard. Appreciate your time. I'm going to head on out of here and start the stretches for ball tonight and get this going here this evening. Thanks for being aboard. I'm up on, gone.